I Should Be Writing number 439.
But I should be writing. I should be working on my craft. I should be writing. I should be submitting my next draft. But I'm sitting home watching Doctor Who.
Hi there, welcome to I Should Be Writing, the podcast for wannabe fiction writers. I'm your host, Mur Lafferty. And I'm feeling kind of Veruca Salt today. I don't know how long that reference will hold water. I don't know how many of you, the next generation, grew up with Johnny Depp as your Willy Wonka instead of Gene Wilder, and I can't remember if a girl named Veruca Salt was even in that movie because I was too distracted by Johnny Depp's teeth. But I digress. The point I'm trying to make is it's apparently royalty season, but I haven't gotten any royalties, and the hip-hop band Clipping has a new album out, and it's horror-themed, and I can't wait for it. I ordered it last month, and it's shipped, and I'm just running around the house going, where are my royalties? Where's my CD? And, start singing Don't Care How, I Want It Now, but then I remember I can't sing, so you're welcome. I'm not doing that to you. Or to my dogs. I mean, my dog barks at me when I practice the violin, so I know she's not going to like me singing. I'm digressing again. I am again amazed by how I hold myself back as a pro because I'm waiting for the permission that comes with a contract. The permission of, okay, that thing you want to write, you can write it now. I don't need permission. I can write whatever the hell I want. And I got to remember that. So the days where I'm floundering around going, well, I recorded a podcast and I did some laundry and I crossed some things off my list and I had a phone call and I didn't write, but I don't have anything due right now, so who cares? No, I can write the things that I want to write. That's kind of what I wanted to whine about, but I've whined about that before, and you guys are done with that. Or, you're probably done. I mean, I would be. I'm done. It's like in The Office when Jim Halpert's trying to explain what he does for a living, and he's just like, I'm boring myself right now. So what I do want to talk about is gratitude. I'm not good at journaling. I feel embarrassed putting my thoughts down on paper. I feel exposed when I put my thoughts down, my intimate thoughts down on paper. I think it comes from somebody close to me reading my diary when I was younger and making kind of an upsetting decision based on that. It was nowhere near as entertaining as, what's his name? Harriet the Spy. But, it was a violation, and I think it stuck with me. But every once in a while I try to do it again. I try to do the artist's way, I try to do my morning pages, and I've tried to do a gratitude journal, and it's hard because I'm kind of grateful for the same things every day. I'm grateful for my health, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful I have a husband who supports and understands me. I'm grateful I have a really awesome kid. And, gratitude journals are like 3 things you're grateful for every day, and I would look and I'd think, oh, health, family, I'm doing what I've dreamt of doing since I was a little kid. Okay, next day, health, family, how am I supposed to do this again? And I think you're supposed to be like, I think the gratitude journal is supposed to be something like, you look at the surprising things that give you pleasure. I'm grateful that I figured out if I make my own pumpkin pie spice and put about 1/8 of a teaspoon in my morning coffee, it's got that good pumpkin spice flavor without gobs and gobs and gobs and gobs of sugar. Sure, I'm grateful for that. I'm not only grateful for my husband, I'm grateful for the fact that when he bought himself some dark chocolate cookies, he bought me a box of milk chocolate cookies because he knows that dark isn't my favorite. Don't at me. You can't tell me that I have bad taste and make dark chocolate taste better to me. Just saying. So we're supposed to be getting into more details, and I'm not just babbling about my life. I'm leading up to something where, on Twitter today, my friend Adam Christopher said, can you talk about the need to take a step back and be grateful for what we do and where we are? It's something I think about a lot. We're always going on about writing and publishing being so hard and looking at all the shiny things we want when we're in a really very good place. And every now and again, when I find myself raging at all the things I want to do but haven't yet, I stop myself and look at what I have done and what I am doing and how a lot of people would really love to have and do these, have these opportunities. And Adam's right. And why am I talking about this on I Should Be Writing, which is geared towards beginning writers? And it's because you have something to be grateful for too. The fact that you are chasing this dream. Do you know how many people say to me, oh, I'd like to write someday, or I wish I could do that, or, you know, any number of, that thing you do is probably easy, but I'm not going to do it because of reasons, when the reasons are, I don't want to take the time or effort to learn how to do it. If you are starting your writing journey, you've taken a big first step that a lot of other people haven't taken, and they think they someday will. And they think, I'd do that if I had the time, while you are making the time. And it's like what I wanted to whine about earlier today, being that no one's stopping you. Nothing is stopping you. A lot of times people tell me I'd love to take time off so I could have, a full day to dedicate to writing. And I'm, usually I'm polite, but I'm thinking, if you're not writing when you have 30 minutes, you're not going to write when you have 8 hours. Trust me, I'm the queen of pissing the day away. Really. But you're taking that jump. Let's say you're beyond that, and you've finished a book, but you're not published yet. Do you know how many people have actually written a book from start to finish? It's a tiny percentage of the world. People think it's so easy, but it's not. And I don't care how good or bad it is. If you've done that, that's amazing. And you should really feel proud about that. One of the weird things about working in publishing is if you feel, when you have a success, more often than not, it's a success based on something you did a year or two before. Like last year, my book was getting tons and tons of award attention, which was awesome. But this was a book that was published at the very beginning of 2016. And, I'd worked through 14 and 15 to write it. So this book was super in the back of my mind while I was looking forward to my next projects. And, at the beginning of the year, some of them were going well and some of them weren't. Things picked up later when I got the Star Wars job, which really can't complain about. But, it's a weird thing. I always think about the people who have to go on tour about the books that are out or the movies that are out, when really you're thinking about the new project. It's like if you're in the middle of a book and you're trying to figure out where you're going next, and suddenly you have to talk about the book that you finished 3 years before, that's a little tough. So it's hard, even when you're getting a lot of attention, to be grateful for what happened, because right now, what you're working on may not be exciting. And if it is exciting, there's probably nobody else excited about it because they want to read it to be excited about it. I complain that I have some stuff that I still can't talk about, when really I should just look at the fact that I have some stuff. Stuff's going on. I can't talk about it, but It's not because nothing's happening. If you are published and things aren't going well, you got to remember that everybody's career, like everything else in your life, is going to go in a sort of wave pattern. You know, newlyweds don't want to hear that there will be a day in the future when all you can think about is not this happy love, but why didn't you take the dog out? Why do I have to be the one to take the dog out? Relationships ebb and flow. Careers ebb and flow. If you happen to be slowing down for a reason, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. But you can think about what you've achieved. And then think about what you can achieve if you just keep at it. Martha Wells thought her career was over. And she worked with her agent to sort of reinvent herself. And then she wrote the Murderbot books. And then she started winning awards and getting huge attention. By the way, the Murderbot books, really good. I remember in the movie Soap Dish, when the Sally Field character was feeling down, her best friend would take her to a public place and start screaming, "Oh my God, isn't that the star of that soap opera?" And everybody around her would get really excited and start asking for autographs. And it was just like this admittedly cheap but effective little ego boost. And if you're an author who's kind of in a slump, then you should take everything you've published and put it there in front of you. If you don't already have an area dedicated to it. And look at what you've done. And be grateful for that. And remind yourself that if you accomplished that before, you can do it again. So that's what I try to remind myself if things get slow. There are things to be grateful for. Just because nothing's happening today doesn't mean nothing's going to happen tomorrow. And if anybody has a gratitude journal and they want to tell me about it, like what they put in it, it doesn't have to go out on the show. I'm just really curious because, like I said, I'm grateful for my life, but it's hard to find 3 different things to be grateful for every day because I am usually big picture when I think about stuff like this. And I think that's it for today. Thank you, Adam, for the idea. And everybody check out Adam's books. He's got some books with Angry Robot, had some books with Tor, and he's a pretty strong writer. But if you want to support this podcast and get some extra content, get some early content, and get a podcast every day during NaNoWriMo, you can support me for just $1 a month. Really, it's not that much. At patreon.com/MightyMur. You can see the blog and show notes at murverse.com. And you can email me at mightymur@gmail.com. I'm on Twitter intermittently at MightyMur, and I'm on Instagram even more intermittently at MightyMur2, because someone from Russia has MightyMur. If you are doing the NaNoWriMo workout prep, I think I give it a different name every day. Sorry about that. The words for the 17th should be 886, and if you're listening to this on the 18th, it should be 938. We're almost up to 1,000 words. So keep at it, because you should be writing. Remember, you can support the show at patreon.com/MightyMur. I should be writing theme music provided by John Anelio. You can find more about him at johnanelio.com. This podcast is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Share-alike license.
The fact that Doctor Who is on TV.